happens when you take two of the same car and modify them with completely different aftermarket parts.
One with top-of-the-line parts and one with cheap budget parts.
Do more expensive parts make a better car?
Yes.
Hold on. We don't want to jump to conclusions in the intro.
But they do. This is a way better car.
I'm not so sure. This is the battle of the budgets, baby. It's time to go turbos to taillights, bumper to bumper on these Nissan 350Zs that
Our very own.
we built them.
We did it.
He's the new guy.
Hi. Big thanks to CuriosityStream for sponsoring this episode. Check out CuriosityStream for thousands of cool documentaries, exclusive originals, and nonfiction titles. A subscription is only $2.99 a month or $19.99 a year for unlimited access, which means I can watch space probes on my own time. Plus, it's available on basically every platform. Something so cool for that cheap would make a great present. Just saying. But the best part is, for our loyal Donut subscribers, if you sign up right now for CuriosityStream, you can get the first 30 days for free. Just head over to curiositystream.com/bumper-to-bumper and use the promo code bumper-to-bumper. Go watch a documentary and support the companies that support Donut. Back to the bumpers.
We have a new family member here at Donut. My friend Zach Job is here with us. He's really good with cars, amazing at skateboarding, and a handsome man as well. And he's gonna be hosting this episode of Bumper to Bumper along with me today. Welcome, Zach. Don't f it up.
Oh, thank you, Nolan. No promises. Hey everybody, I'm Zach. It's nice to meet you. A few months ago, we shot a special series called HiLow. We bought two nearly identical Nissan 350Zs. We modified one of them with budget parts and one of them with high-end parts.
We wanted to find out which mods are worth spending your hard-earned money on and where you could save a few bucks. And just to be clear, none of this was sponsored by any of the parts companies. We here at Donut did this out of the kindness of our hearts for you, our loyal D-holes.
The point of it all was to make the best daily driver that you could also take to the track. We learned a lot, not just about working on cars, but also about just how far you can push a man before he snaps.
You might have already heard of this show by now, but starting tomorrow, it's dropping on YouTube. So if you haven't seen it yet, watch it, because it's the most fun I've ever had working at Donut.
So much fun.
But right now, we're going to give you an exclusive look at the culmination of all of that hard work.
The builds took 2 weeks to complete, which is an absolutely insane turnaround, and they're certainly not perfect, but we couldn't have got it done without the help of some of our best friends.
The don't fit right. James made me take the car that was gonna get all the cheap parts because, you know, he's the boss. But I got to pick my teammate slash veteran mechanic, Aaron Parker. You might have seen him on that Netflix show Hyperdrive, racing his Wolf RX-7, or on a previous episode of Bumper to Bumper where you got to check out the RX-7 in this very shop, actually.
And Team High was me and the sauce boss himself, James Pumphrey. Very similar starting points between the two teams, but that's sort of where the similarities end. We started these little builds where many people start their builds, with some coilovers. We chose a set of KW V3 coilovers, which are some of the most wicked yet gentlemanly coilovers you can get your hands on. You get to keep a pretty comfortable ride while turning your cornering ability up many notches. They're great, but they do kind of cost a lot.
On low car, we spent literally like a tenth of what they spent on high car. We bought and managed to install a set of $200 coilovers made by a company called Max Speeding Rods. They were listed as coilovers, struts, fit, Nissan Fairlady Z, 350Z, Z33, 2003 to 2008, shock absorbers, green. And to be honest, I was very concerned. I thought we were gonna die. As you can see, the highest setting was still super slammed. I can't even fit my freaking finger in here.
After the suspension was all figured out, it was time to get the Z's some new shoes and socks. Over here, we went with a set of wheels that I've wanted since I knew what it was to want wheels. Advan RG3s, baby! These are 18 by 10 all the way around, and each wheel only weighs about 20 pounds. And since money is no object to Team Hi, we wrapped our ad vans in a set of Bridgestone Potenza RE71Rs for about as much streetable grip as money could buy.
Over here on Team Low, where the object is no money, we went with a set of XXR 527 wheels in 18 by 9 3/4 all around. They weigh a little more than the Advans, at about 24 pounds per wheel, but they look great and they were like a quarter of the price. We also went with a set of Federal RSRR tires for some of the best bang for your buck budget grip available. The car is so low, and I think these wheels fit the mood perfectly, and it's crazy how much grippier these tires were than the ones that came on the car. It was a night and day difference. Look how much sick camber there is.
I am a clout god.
For our brakes, we went with a pretty basic upgrade, which came with more aggressive brake pads, steel braided brake lines, new rotors, and some high temp brake fluid. All told, we spent less than $500 on these, but they made a big difference.
Yeah, okay, so these ones did cost quite a bit more than theirs, but they're huge. 14 inches up front, 13 inches out back, 6 piston calipers up front, 4 piston calipers in the back, stainless steel lines, and just look at this.
We torture tested these brakes against each other to see which really were better, and the results might shock you.
I don't want to spoil any results, but one of the cars didn't catch on fire.
Up next was maybe the single cheapest thing that we did to Low Car. We welded the differential. This car had an open diff from the factory, and that's not really good for doing hood rat things with your hood rat friends. But limited slip diffs are expensive. Know what isn't expensive? Having your buddy with a welder over to the house and weld that sucker up for you.
In Hi Car, we had a viscous limited slip diff from the factory as part of the touring package, but we wanted to get rid of that in favor of a clutch type limited slip. We ended up buying a Kaz 2-way LSD. It does burnouts, skids, and slides really friggin' well. So well, in fact, that our bodies were flopping all over the cabin, so it was time to turn our attention to the interior. Max? We put a set of Sparco QRT-R seats in Hi Car. They're super supportive and light while still being pretty comfortable. We also installed this sick Greddy Boost Brigade steering wheel. It's suede, there's some Japanese writing that I can't read, and this cool little demon guy down here. We didn't have money for extras like a steering wheel or shift knobs, but seats are pretty much a necessary mod if you want to start hitting the track days or just want to feel a little more planted in the twisties. We bought these Corbeau FX1s. They were cheap compared to the Sparcos, but they weren't the cheapest stuff out there. When it comes to seats, you gotta save up and get a seat that will at least A, not break in the event of a crash, and B, be comfortable enough that you enjoy being in them. And that's what we've got right here. These things are actually really comfortable and supportive. That sounds good. I love this car. We decided to go with a professional vinyl wrap on Hi Car. We wanted a nice midnight blue with some metallic flake, and that's exactly what we got.
My experience was a little different. To change the color of your car on the cheap, you're gonna pretty much do it yourself. And rather than try wrapping a car ourselves, we went the Plasti-Dip route. It did not go well.
Since the cars have both gotten mods that improve handling, gripping, stopping, and looking hard as it was time for just one thing.
More power, baby!
The power plant in the 350Z is the VQ35DE, which is a 3.5 liter V6 making 287 horsepower at the crank. It also sings a pretty unique song that you probably know and probably either love or hate. HiCar got the creme de la creme, a Jim Wolf twin turbo kit, which came with obviously 2 turbos, a couple of Garrett GT25s that are completely hidden down there, an intercooler, a fuel pump, all the piping we needed, and a tune cooked up by our dude at SQC Tuning out of NM Imports in Albuquerque. They helped us wring horsepower out of this thing, which is pretty good. We also threw a Tomei Extreme titanium exhaust on at the same time, and you guys, between the turbo kit and the exhaust, this is absolutely the best sounding VQ I have ever heard.
On Low Car, we got a Rev 9 single turbo kit on Amazon of all places. It came with this big honkin' Turbonetic 60-1 turbo that gets mounted all the way up here by the headlight. Kit came with pipes to route the turbo up here. It came with an intercooler and piping, and that's about it. The kit definitely didn't come with any instructions, which caused a lot of headaches. Not everything fit right, but with some elbow grease and perseverance, we got it installed. We're also running UpRev software and a tune from SQC. We squeezed out little buff horsies, and for like a third of the price of the Jim Wolf kit. As you can see, the car has ended up pretty dang different. To find out just how different and to see how much fun we had installing all this stuff, you gotta watch HiLow dropping on YouTube every Wednesday for the next 8 weeks starting
Tomorrow.
Are you team low or team high? Pick a side and join us for the ride, baby.
You good now?
No, Eddie, not good. What the you think, dude? I'm, like, this isn't a bit, I'm legitimately angry. I mean, what were we thinking? What were we thinking?